our founding fathers' vision for our country, which they had a great vision. We're the longest lasting continuous government on earth. And
is that true?
Yeah, no, there's like other nations that are older than ours, like a lot of European nations and and Asian.
Bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Or what your interests are?
My major is biology.
Okay.
Pre-med.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
I'm trying to be a gynecologist.
And so you have an opinion on the first 100 days of the Trump administration. You don't think it's gone very well, I'm assuming?
I mean, no.
Okay.
He literally took away the, I forgot what it was, but that thing that says like businesses can't like legally segregate. And, you know, as a black person, I kind of have a little, you know, just a slight issue with that.
Trump brought back segregation?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I must have missed that one.
Oh, you didn't? So I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what it was called, though? Like what I could look up to find? Or do I just Google Trump segregation?
You can look up Trump segregation,
okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, you should do that.
So how are we here together? Are we going to get in trouble then if we're...
This isn't a business. I said business. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So if you guys don't know what's going on here, this person's name is John Doyle, and they're going to a university under the premise that Donald Trump's first 100 days were great, and he's debating college students with his opinions about Trump versus their opinions about Trump. And the specific act that she's talking about, I believe, I haven't really read on it in a while. I think she's referring to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And there was a mandate in there that said it was strictly prohibited for government institutions to have some form of ruling against racial segregation. Donald Trump didn't bring back segregation. That's not what happened. He just said that I think government institutions can legally segregate now. I think. No government institution has legally segregated, but I think that's what happened. Don't really know all the details about it. Nonetheless, my name is LFR Jojo. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get into this video.
If I walk into a business, there's nothing stopping them from being like, this is for
whites only.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, well that's bad. I don't agree with that. What about the other 99 days? Do you think those were better than the day he decided to bring back segregation or no?
No. I mean, it's just like, I'm just going to state, you know, the elephant in the room, like the stock market thing.
Yeah.
Him crashing the stock market and then reversing the tariffs and then being like, up cinema. Like, no.
I did see him do that actually. Yeah. Especially with the Martin Scorsese thing. I think actually the tariffs are good. I mean, I think that the country's got to feel something, some famously concerned about the stock market, our friends on the left, I guess.
I genuinely want to know, like, why you find the tariffs to be a good thing. Just because I saw a post from this company. I forgot exactly what company it was.
Yeah.
But it was this company that said they imported their parts for $150K and they had to pay $232,000 in tariff taxes, and they said that's more than their owners, the owners of the company makes.
Well, the reason I like tariffs, and by the way, that's not like a unique opinion. Like when Trump is putting tariffs on countries, he's matching or doing basically to them what they're doing to us. Like they have tariffs on us as well. Trump is matching that or increasing that in some cases. So it's not like tariffs are some crazy thing that nobody does. I mean, this country's economy, like so many other countries, be it Britain or even Japan after the Second World War, built their wealth through tariffs, which is the practice of basically prioritizing national industry over trade. I mean, trade's obviously important, but it's the idea that we should protect our own industries and build them up because production is what makes prosperity in any economy. And we don't make anything in this country anymore. And so even before Trump or Obama or Bush, the economy's been going down ever since. I mean, think about how hard we have to work in our generation just to get a taste of what life would have been like for our parents or grandparents. And I think that tariffs are, going to hurt in the short run, but in the long run, bringing back some of that manufacturing, I think is going to be very good for normal Americans and not just, the top 5% who are really concerned about the stock market.
I would say he's actually making a lot of sense here. I think people are over-exaggerating what tariffs can do for the economy. Some people disagree with it, some people agree with it, but I don't think tariffs in general are a terrible thing. The big question, though, however, is will tariffs help the economy? That's the big premise. He's operating under the premise that, yeah, they will help the economy, which they possibly can. And she's going under the premise that they will hurt the economy. My premise, though, I don't know if tariffs will help or hurt the economy. I've never really given an opinion on it. I will say this. I understand why Trump wants to give tariffs. Will they help? Will they hurt? Don't know. I think it just depends on how efficiently he operates them. I think it depends on when Trump is out of office, what the next administration does, what Congress does. I don't know. I do understand his thought process behind it. Let me know what you think, though.
Who have their media report about the stock market. I think it'll be okay in the long run.
So can you please explain to me in like great detail how like what the long run is, because all these like economists are saying that Trump is a dumbass when it comes to these tariffs. Just like, what is quite literally the point? Like it's like the 125% tariff on China right now.
Sure.
What are we doing?
Well, so what I would say is, like, think about all the kids right now at this school who are majoring in economics. Where are they going to work? Who hires economists? The people who pay economists are people who work in the government. And so they'll hire economists to work at think tanks or to come on and talk for 60 seconds on Fox News or CNN. So all the famous economists that you see make a living because the people in power pay them to get on television or write articles saying what they basically want, them to say. And they may believe it, but they're selected for that purpose. And so if you have economists saying, oh, this is going to tank the economy, you have plenty of economic arguments and even the economic history of this country, like I said, which would argue the opposite. Like every man on Mount Rushmore who maybe you like or don't like, they were all protectionists, from very conservative to even very liberal, like Thomas Jefferson. Even after the War of 1812, he came along and said, we should prioritize national industry. And so I'm sure that they're saying that. I'm sure that on paper it makes a lot of sense. But in terms of what we see happen in reality, there are countries which were reduced to rubble. Japan, their empire collapsed after World War II. They practiced protectionism. They prioritized national industry, their automotive industry, and now they're doing better than we are in terms of exporting cars.
Well, they're doing better than we are in terms of exporting cars, but their GDP is not better than ours in any way, shape, or fashion. But I will say, John Doyle is extremely intelligent. He's right. America does need to value protectionism and some sense of nationalism. I will say this, though, and this is just my objective. This is just what is objectively happening. There's a difference between valuing protectionism and nationalism, which Trump pretty much does when it comes to the economic stability of the United States in terms of tariffs. That's what he's trying to do, versus having a 100% or 140% tariff on China. There's a difference. Also, the United States already had certain tariffs, such as 10%, but I think he's kind of undermining what Trump is doing. It's not just protectionism, is all I'm saying. It's not just protectionism. It's not just nationalism. Trump is literally going a mile above that. Whether or not it's a good thing, I didn't give an opinion on whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. What I'm saying is he's doing something that hasn't been done before from any president ever. He's putting massive tariffs because from my understanding of Trump wants massive change. So in his mind, he's doing massive things. So it is different. It is literally different. I think he's kind of undermining that a little bit. But let's continue.
That was America's thing, right? I'm from Detroit originally, the Motor City. That's now in ruins, and everybody there is driving Hondas instead of Chevrolets. And Trump acknowledged that, too. One of the first things he said as a presidential candidate was, when's the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo? Sort of echoing this idea that America used to make stuff, the world used to buy it. Now it's the opposite. What do we make in this country? What do we even do? We have weird email jobs. We drive for Uber. We're consultants. But nobody does like a real job. No one makes anything. It's all fake. And I think eventually that's going to crash, and it's going to hurt a lot worse than whatever's happening in the short term. And if this really were a mistake for us, all of our enemies, China, Russia, they would just be like, okay, go right ahead. But they're upset that we're doing this because they know that they've been getting a good deal. They know that they've been taking advantage of us. And finally, we have a president who's willing to say this has to stop.
Okay, no offense, but you didn't really answer my question about how, like, the tariffs are going to do it in the long run. You went on some long rant about how other countries have collapsed, and then they do tariffs, and Big Daddy Trump is going to come back and bring everything back.
Do you know what?
Well, he indirectly answered your question. His answer to your question is that Donald Trump's tariffs enact some type of protectionism and some type of nationalism, which will bring back manufacturing to the United States. That was his answer to your question. He just didn't directly say it like that. But that's what he's saying. And he also followed up by giving you examples of why America needs this. The example is we don't have any manufacturing in the United States, which led to less jobs for specifically our generation. That's the answer that he was getting at. That's what I got from it. That's what he said. That's what he said. He didn't say it directly. I will say that, but he definitely said it. What do y'all think, though?
I'm not done yet.
Like
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
And yeah, I just really think it's interesting that you say that our economy is like super bad right now.
True.
Because it's not like Biden. We had the best bounce back from COVID in the G7. Like, I'm confused as to how that equates to our economy being bad. Especially, like, I think it's really just a correlation versus causation kind of thing. With a lot of people are just like, oh, prices up when Biden in office. Yep, that means Biden bad.
True.
I really think it's stupid. And then just another thing, just like bringing up his tax cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, every time the question of how are these tariffs going to bring us forward, like literally how the process of how it's going to happen, I feel like the question is always met with, well, other countries are taking advantage of us. And it's like, okay, but how are they taking advantage of us?
So in practice, what a tariff actually does is it simply taxes the import and it incentivizes people to buy domestically and produce domestically.
But that's been proven wrong, though.
That people aren't taking those incentives?
That tariffs don't incentivize consumer buying. If shit's expensive, why the fuck would I want to buy shit?
Well, because you have to buy some stuff, right?
If
so where
it's
are you
expensive,
gonna buy
I'm
it?
not buying shit. What the hell?
So what are you going to get instead? You're just not going to buy goods?
No. That is literally the process. Like, I don't understand.
Okay.
If we have 125% tariff on China, and China basically makes everything in America, and now everything's expensive, why would I be like, oh no, everything's expensive, God, I need money so I can buy? No.
Well, if people aren't buying as much as they would be, then the prices would actually go down because the demand for those things is lower than they would have been. And so the price, and also prices across the board too, have gone down since Biden anyway.
But how would they go down if the tariffs are up?
Because if the tariffs are increasing the prices and people are not buying, then eventually in order to sell those things, they would have to lower the prices of those goods in order for people to buy them. Which, I mean, what you're saying, people do pay more for those goods, that's true, but it's not like they just simply stop buying them. It's not like they stopped buying iPhones. And Apple, by the way, said that they were going to start to reorient their manufacturing. So many of these companies are already, and we've only had the tariff announcement for like a few weeks. So what has happened historically seems to be what is happening now, and I apologize if my explanation of it was incoherent, but I think that what we're seeing is basically a repetition of history, which again, it would be to the benefit of these other countries if we did not do that, which is why they are upset that we are doing that. And so I think that we simply just have to trust the plan with Trump's economic policy.
So your explanation to me is trust him.
Yeah.
No.
Fair enough.
The fuck?
I don't know how else I could explain it, but
no, I need with a president. I need plans. I need an economic, long-term, 4-year plan explaining how you're gonna make the economy better. Not, oh yeah, I'm gonna pressure China, and then China's gonna fold, and then economy good. No.
Which they did, by the way. They were threatening reciprocal tariffs. They balked. All these other countries balked. So
yeah, China, Japan, and Korea are buddies right now because of America. Do you know how fucking crazy that is? That is generational trauma. Generations of shit between 3 different countries.
That's
and
right.
They came together just because Trump, because he wants to do whatever the he does that thing where he ruins everything, and then he takes it away and he's like, guess what, I'm the best. Guess what, I'm actually the bestest. Like, what the hell? Same thing with TikTok. He did the same thing with TikTok. The whole TikTok thing happened because of him, and then he brought it back, and then he was like, oh, guess what, I'm actually the savior, you guys. Like, what are we talking about right now?
It's an interesting conversation. It rings a lot of bells. I feel like I've made this video before.
I need data and stats.
So what makes you say that? That's what I'm very curious. So what makes you say that?
You're trying to hear about that.
Thank you very much.
I'm listening.
No, we're not. You can't take our property, actually. You're making your students look so bad right now.
I need, like, evidence and not, oh yeah, just trust me. What the hell? That's crazy. Do you not understand how crazy that sounds?
I guess not.
Well, I will say this. She really doesn't like Trump. I will say this. You don't know if his tariffs will work. You don't know how effective they'll be. And I'm not saying that because I'm in support of the tariffs or I'm against the tariffs. I'm saying that because you genuinely don't know. You don't know if they will aid America in the future. That's where we are. We're kind of in limbo when it comes to his tariffs because they're just so new at this point. I don't even think some of them have been finalized yet. So when you're saying you're against his tariffs, this whole conversation is almost theoretical, or it's almost based off of the history of the United States, because we've really honestly never seen anything like this where someone even has given 100% tariff on a country. We've never seen it. There's still court cases behind it. There's still a lot of information behind it. So will the tariffs work? We don't know. The whole point that I'm getting at right now is that if you agree or disagree, or you're a big, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're a big fan of the tariffs or you're a big hater of the tariffs, it's all based off of your personal beliefs and your personal opinions. It's not based off of your economic understanding of Donald Trump's tariffs, because economically, we don't know where they're going to go. We could look at past history and say, based off of this, it won't work. But on these tariffs, we don't know how China will react. We don't know the future of them. But let's continue.
Paris. Like, I just genuinely don't understand the process of trusting Daddy Trump's gut or
well,
whatever.
if his predictions about what companies would do in response, shifting manufacturing back to America, what countries would do in response, lowering their tariffs on us, if those have happened, why would you not think that he kind of has an idea of what's going on? If they totally said, like, you're crazy, we're keeping our tariffs, we're keeping our production offshore, then I would understand what you're saying. But if what he's predicting will happen is consistently happening, I mean,
I think it's crazy because I think this number is wrong. Forgive me, but I think it was 32 Nobel Peace Prize winning economicists, people in economics.
Can you fact check that? The Nobel Economist
Please
Peace Prize.
Fact check me.
Yeah,
please.
The Nobel Prize
that supported Kamala Harris. Yes.
Yeah.
They all said that Trump's tax plan was some bullshit. Like, that's what it. Well, I don't know if I've been cussing, but like, was some bullshit, frankly.
Yeah.
And that's just I don't know. Like, I feel like trusting 32 Nobel Peace Prize winning economic people. I'm gonna put my trust in the facts. What y'all be saying? Facts over feelings? Yeah.
Fair enough. That's true. All right, fair enough.
Cinema.
Fair enough. I appreciate you proving me wrong. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and
of course.
See if we can get some other people. My name is John. It was very nice to talk to you.
It's nice to talk to you.
Anybody want to prove me wrong? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm coming off of a sickness, so I'm like.
You're gonna be a bioweapon. You're gonna.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah,
Fair
what's
enough.
your name?
John. Well,
Okay,
I'll
sorry.
do it.
Yeah.
I have a strong immune
Nice
system.
to meet you. I'm Bear.
Bear?
Bear, yeah, like Bear Naked.
Okay. My name is
The YouTube channel.
John Doyle. Well, we try our best. We're trying to be on campus here and see if we can engage in conversation about the president's first 100 days in office or so. And I think he's done a fantastic job. I am a very big supporter of his, and I would be curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, if you could define great, just so we have just so I have a better understanding of what you mean.
I think that he has made very few missteps. I think generally every possible move he could have made was good. I think he's done exceptionally well. I think he's done better than he did in his first term, better than probably any other president in my lifetime, maybe even my parents' lifetime. And so, yeah, great.
Cool. Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna surprise you by saying this, that I completely agree that he's maybe I would like to add the caveat that he is doing great for his he is succeeding in kind of bypassing a lot of the problems that our government has had.
Yeah.
Where I'm coming from is I'm kind of just disagreeing on the direction
Sure.
that is going. First of all, I think this isn't really a hot take that I don't think the Democratic Party is effective in doing thing. It's very like establishment, and I understand.
You're
that.
one of those. You're to the left of the Democrats.
Yeah, no, I
zoom
I
out
am.
Buzz
Yeah.
Lightyear. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think that like economically, like I'm the first generation of people that like on average are not doing better than their parents.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people are having a lot of fear and struggle. So people do want change, and
This is why I say, and I've been saying this for a while, whether or not you support Trump or don't support him, I think it was pretty evident years ago that he was going to win, or if he didn't win, a massive shift was going to come because people were just tired. They were tired. And I don't want to put blame on one party or one side, but the Democrats were in office, I guess, and people were tired that they can't afford houses. They were tired that they can't get jobs. They were tired that they look at politicians and politicians are living in multi-million-dollar mansions on $100,000 salaries. Don't know. They are just tired. They're tired that they aren't able to live the life that they thought they were going to live that was promised to them, even though they did everything right. They were tired. So a change was going to come. And I think what really was the nail in the coffin for the Democratic Party was the fact that while people were complaining, they were pretending like they didn't hear it. They were pretending like they didn't hear it. And an example of this is when Kamala Harris decided to run for president after Biden stepped down. Firstly, Biden shouldn't even have ran again. I'm talking about he was going to run against Trump in this second term. He was going to run. Do you guys remember that? That was tone deaf because nobody wanted him to run again. But when Kamala Harris was going to run after Biden stepped down, she said she was going to do exactly what Biden did. That's what she said. Tone deaf. People wanted change, and you're running off of the premise of doing exactly what the president did that they wanted change from. Then she completely stepped back from that and said, actually, I'm not going to do what he did. I'm going to have a new game plan. Only point that I'm getting at is I'm not trying to show shade at Biden or the Democrats. I'm just saying that people were tired of their complaints being ignored, and Trump to them voiced themselves. He was like a voice of the voiceless in their minds. But let me know what you guys think about that. Let's continue.
Donald Trump is really doing a good job of rallying and unifying his voter base. My biggest issue, like, because I like it when politics are like how we should distribute our taxes and like general like thing like. I don't know if you were thinking back to like your childhood and like when and what the scope of politics were then. I think we've kind of shifted a little bit. And
you respect Trump's will to power. You just wish that it were leftist.
Well, I think I'm not like I think that people like in history like we've I would love to kind of switch directions, and my biggest issue is it seems like one thing that I love about American government and one thing that I loved about our founding fathers' vision for our country, which they had a great vision. We're the longest lasting continuous government on earth. And
is that true?
Yeah, no, we're the long, like, there's like other nations that are older than ours, like a lot of European nations and Asian.
You mean like
Bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're one of the youngest. We're like the younger sibling who gets everything they want. That's like what the United States is. We're like the overpowered younger sibling who's just smarter and better at everything, and everyone loves us. Well, do they love us? Anyways, let's continue.
The establishment of our Congress, our government.
We're the same. It's the same exact. Like the Constitution is the longest lasting policy that has, or like the longest lasting continuous government. And I love that.
Maybe de jure, but de facto, I don't know. I think that we've had a few presidents kind of restructure it and sort of bend it to their will.
Yeah, but the Constitution has never been like it's the Constitution has always been the mainstay. There's been like federal policies that have altered the scope of it, or court cases that have interpreted it in different ways. But the biggest thing is, I think the biggest reason why that, and one thing that I love about the United States, is the checks of power that are happening, the 3 different branches of governments. Any branch of government accountable is quickly losing its I don't really its efficacy. It's specifically what I'm talking about is like things that Trump is doing, like they're like deporting Antonio. I'm forgetting his name, but
the Delaware man or the Maryland man?
Yeah. The Maryland man.
Right.
So I'm forgetting his name, unfortunately, but
he's an MS-13 gang member. That's kind of important.
well, yeah, but
Yeah, why did this student even sit down, low key? I don't even think he knows. Does he even disagree with Trump at this point? I don't even know. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, do you even disagree with him, or are you a fan of him? I don't know. He sounds a little confused. Nonetheless, my name is Elifar Jojo. I'm going to end this video here. I don't know where this student is going, but I am going to link the original video so you guys can watch it. It's a pretty long video. It's almost an hour and 10 minutes. But anyways, my name is Elifar Jojo. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.